Hi, this is Kaery with Kaery Concealed and the Active Self-Protection Extra channel. And today I have a very interesting person that we're excited for you to meet. Mr. John and I and Miss Steph and Mr. Neil got to meet Mr. Jeff at Methods of Instruction with For Science last February. And he told us about Brian Willis.
Absolutely.
And we trained with Mr. Brian last November, I believe it was.
Sounds
maybe
right.
October, in Phoenix also, and those are great classes, so you might want to look him up. And anyway, so Mr. Jeff has some great stuff, and come on back and join us to learn more about what he has to say.
All right, see you then.
Download the ASP Unlimited app for all the content you love from Active Self-Protection and more with no interference from YouTube. No ads, no age gates, exclusive videos, seminars, classes, and more on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Android TV. Hit the link in the description or download ASP Unlimited from your app store today.
All right, welcome back. So, Mr. Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself and where people can learn more about you.
Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, so Jeff Johnsgaard, my website is onpurpose.training. So it's one of those different URLs, .training. So just simply the words onpurpose.training, T-R-A-I-N-I-N-G. And in fact, if you go there, because what we're going to discuss is a little bit of threat to challenge stuff. And there's a couple of free articles in the shop. You just download them for free, and one's called Threat to Challenge, and there's another one on red dots, but it's actually a sneak. It's actually on speed of assault and game intelligence and some other great stuff.
Those are great articles.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, that's the point, is to get information out there, because a lot of people just don't know how deep they can go with things, or that these other things exist.
Yeah.
In a durable or in a purposeful way. So yeah, retired police officer, retired early. I was in Canada, and now I live in Florida. I'm literally a cold Florida man chasing gators.
Cold.
And yeah, like I like all of a sudden I'm cold all the time, which is funny. I'm the guy I used to make fun of on the airplane. I'm wearing sweaters and stuff. It's hilarious. But I do well in the heat now, but it took a while to adjust. Sighting in rifles and all sorts of great America-based things. So very happy about that. And then I work, as you know, for several companies and myself and the rest of it. And training's the space I'm in. So my goal is, I guess the elevator speech is I decrease liability working with human factors, but what the heck does all that mean, right? And so it's like teaching people skill sets, but also decision making is a skill set, as you well know.
Yes.
We talk about it all the time. And how can we do that in a more durable way? How can we do that when you have slivers of a second under all sorts of ambiguity, with high stakes and pressure on the line? And that's like literally what I do professionally. That's where I thrive, and it's awesome. I think I'm super passionate about it. So hopefully I can bring some value to your listeners and the rest of it.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about threat versus challenge.
Yeah, so simply put, there's a bunch of research that says, how you feel about something actually does certainly affects our performance.
Sure.
And so, there's a lot of, we all know what it's like to, I've got something coming up, and it could be, just a competition. You're in sports. It could be a business meeting. It could be a difficult conversation. It could be anything. And we all know we want to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
We want to do our best, whatever our best looks like. The thing is that there's a lot of things that get in the way of that. And one of them is simply, do I feel like I have the tools and the talent to deal with that situation? Is this a threat or a challenge? And so if we feel like, I don't know, I haven't done that before. The problem with experience, of course, is experience is gained moments after you needed it.
I love that.
Right?
Yes.
It's true. And so,
I heard you say that for the first time today, and I was like, oh man, that is so true.
It is, right? And so that's why I do so much imagery, mental rehearsal, hence why I told you about Brian Willis's stuff.
Yes.
And I even developed a couple of products, which will be shamelessly promoting, but a threat to challenge state, rehearsing success, but more importantly, because the brain doesn't know the difference between actually doing something or thinking it to a rich, deep, meaningful level. And so you're actually preparing. It's not a fictitious thing at all.
Yeah.
I shared with you even just so much research on it. Like I've got over 50 or 60 papers on this, but just in a simple putting example.
Yes.
Where they took a bunch of college students, because you can get a college student to do anything for 20 bucks, right? And they took a bunch of college students. They saw how good they were at, sorry, the camera blinked there. They saw how good they were at putting, basically. And so If you were a novice putter, they put you closer to the hole, you know, and different distances. So it kind of evened the playing field.
Sure.
And what they did was over 6 days, they had you do 10 putts each day for 6 days, so 60 putts. Everybody did the same amount. They told everyone the same instructions. Do your best on each putt. Okay. But they asked one group to then, control group, that was it. Do your best on each putt. Then a second group was do your best on each putt, and before you actually putt, envision the putt just missing. Okay. They told the third group, do your best on each putt, and before you putt, envision your putt going in. Okay. After 6 days, they did a test of that, and what they found is that the group who just did the control group, just do your best on each putt, got better by 9.9% because they were doing physical practice. Sure. Interestingly enough, the group with the positive imagery got better by over 20%. Wow. Really interesting, though, is that the group with the negative imagery got worse by over 30%, over 33%. Wow. 50% gap between how you thought. So the physical skills and repetitions we put in, how are they tagged? How are they emotionally coded? And so that's why it's so important as an instructor or as a learner to understand scaling and what's the residue, the mental residue of what you're doing. You got to offer your students 5 pounds on their barbell at a time. You got to understand what are they actually leaving with. Anyone who's trained a dog knows that. You can't just end on failure. You break the dog forever, right? And so this idea of threat to challenge is very, very interesting, because if it's something like I've got this business meeting or this presentation I'm doing, you know, we're teaching this course here, and if I'm thinking of it like, man, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do well, or I'm catastrophizing or something, I'm going to, that's threat state. And I will then start probably engaging in avoidance behaviors. Sure. I'm not really going to prepare, or if I am physically preparing, I'm not going to feel like I'm going to be able to have the resources rise to the occasion and be my best self in that moment. Now, that doesn't mean I just envision like always getting the shot in or always doing well. I mean, I certainly do those kinds of things but imagery and this, what I'm talking about is goal setting, it's motivation as well as physical skill practice. What I am doing is I'm setting myself up to go challenge state. I want to rise to the occasion. I am going to put in the work for as much time as I have to do so and be my best. Outcomes, no one's in charge of outcomes, right? Or no one I speak to anyway is in charge of outcomes, right? I speak at, but not with. I want it to go well, but those outcomes are not, I want you investing in the process, in doing the work and getting there to be your best. Now, by simply feeling like it's a challenge, put me in, coach, versus a threat, I'm not sure that your heart functions differently. O2 is different in your body, oxygen.
So there's physiological changes that happen just by what you're thinking.
It's in that article for free on the web, in my shop. Okay. And I reference the paper and stuff for nerds like me who want to do that. And as well, your attentional systems. And as we know and have talked about many times, what we're focusing our attention on in this moment or during the event matters deeply for our ability to perform. Are we focused on task relevant information or not? Could be internal, external, those quadrants and things. I'm not sure how familiar people are with that, but all of that stuff, right? So the cool part is that it's like free. It doesn't cost a bunch. The problem is that I have unintentionally been taught from teachers, I've been put in a box for how I think about me and how I think. It's amazing when you think about like the residue with my children, you know, like heaven forbid the people I'm training to defend my children in the next mall shooting, which are every civilian that walks around, hopefully preparing themselves for never hopefully having to, but if so, acting on purpose. Exactly. So, you know, the gravity of it's amazing. It can be used for everything. Can you help my daughter or son learn the violin? Absolutely, I can. Can you help me in a use of force situation? Absolutely, I can. Like, it's just, it's so vast. the thing is, some more really interesting research. I mean, of course, it's done in professional sports because
Sure.
there's a lot of money
Yes.
attached to
Yes.
it, right? So mental rehearsal with the Blue Angels, with elite performers in the military. I mean, that's my forte. They're doing it all the time, whether they formally are saying so or even understanding it.
Yeah.
One of our co-instructors, right? Very top-end SWAT performer.
Yes.
Imagery, visualization, and then we talked a little more. It was 15 years ago now, but it's like, wow, I do that all the time.
But he didn't realize he was doing it.
Didn't realize he
Yeah.
was doing it, and more importantly, now that he's aware, there's a structure and a way to do it better.
Yes.
And I didn't know that. So, really interesting stuff. In professional soccer, right, football to the rest of the world anyway, in professional soccer, one of these high performance coaches was talking to the kicker, when you missed that penalty shot, what did you say to yourself? How were you talking to yourself? And he's like, I said these things. He goes, now, what we have to reframe, because we're so hard on ourselves,
Yes.
right? He said, now imagine that was your son, daughter, child. Imagine you were acting as your own coach. Oh, I'd never talk like that
Right.
to anyone else. It's not useful in any way.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that I always win and it always works out for me.
'Cause that's not the case. We're all
Absolutely.
humans.
And I screw things up. I hopefully, I always say I ran out of ways of doing it wrong, but I keep finding new ones. I keep finding
Me
more ways of
too.
doing it wrong. The point is, though, is that this is a structure, right? A formal training, like recordings, right? To help you pull the learnings out and feed forward. How am I going to now go forward so that I'm doing better and I'm able to bring my best self into that moment when I'm already needing to pivot and adjust. I didn't expect that and all those kinds of things.
Yes.
I mean, who wouldn't want that for anyone who drives a car, heaven forbid, walks into a voting booth, right? Thinking about how we think.
Yes.
Am I
Yes.
being pushed by hunger or what is the narrative is out there or not? Now add that into skill sets and training. Now add that into we're on the range putting in, and this is a big one for, I would think, for our viewers, because you're me and I'm you, is that I have so much time and money.
Right.
And I want to get the best out of it.
Yes.
That putting example I just shared alone,
Yes.
that's just one study.
Yes.
The residue of that experience, if I could add 5% more gain out of my time and money put into training,
Yes.
but I'm telling you right now, we're talking when studied 500% more shot placement, speed, decision-making, accuracy.
Yes.
It's craziness.
Yes.
Craziness. So, yeah, anyway, it's just one concept. Again, those bicep curls on using your mind, as it were, it's a silly analogy, but
It's good though.
yeah, I mean, it's building the muscle for thinking about how I think. It's building the muscle for how can I now practice. I keep doing things physically, those draws, that stuff and whatever. But and tagging it so that I am confident and competent, so that I believe, hey, I've been here before, not in a situation just like this, but I've seen things like this.
Yes.
Notice how I'm already
breathing
emotionally
changes.
regulating,
Yep.
breathing, eyes and attention, and things of that nature.
Yes.
So how do we do that? Most civilians I know just haven't been under those high stakes and pressure. And I should have started with this, but the number one thing is, how do you know you won't freeze?
Right.
How do you know you'll act at your best decisively? Hopefully to negate or act decisively if need be. This is your introductory first step for training, not pretending, training your brain to have been there.
Yes.
It's the most powerful thing I can imagine.
And not delude ourselves. Sometimes I think a lot of students or people that want to take initial training, they'll think that getting the gun, if I can just get a gun, that's what I need to do. And that's not just what they need to do. There are so many other steps before it. Did you mention that on your website that you have some imagery resources for people, like a Circle of Excellence, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so there's two that I've just finished. I don't think I put them available, yet.
Okay.
They will be soon, because the MP3s are there. I work with people privately in groups all the time. So that's always available. But these ones are like downloads for a Circle of Excellence, which is just a resource state that you build. And then from that Circle of Excellence, learning and performance, the threat to challenge.
Okay.
So there's like 2 separate recordings.
Great.
Yeah. Although threat to challenge, I think I'll just probably include Circle of Excellence with it because it's the natural one to listen to first. But yeah, those will be available right away. If not, just email me if you're interested. Absolutely. But what I want to do is I also want to do just a brief little training on the concepts of growth mindset or not. What is a mindset? Mindsets are malleable. They shift and change. All these things that lead you in, all the stuff that I would like when we work together to do that for you specifically, we would have those conversations. Well, I can just record that stuff. And I honestly didn't realize the value of the recording. I give them out to teams and I give them out to, as I said, units I work with, but they shared them with friends. And the feedback came back like, because I didn't even, it was for someone else. And they were still getting value.
Interesting.
Like, and I said, oh, well then I guess I'll just do a general one. You know, like
Great
why
idea.
not? And especially, I mean, the cost of it is much lower, right?
Sure.
So there you go. So
that's great.
Yes, but thanks for that. And,
thank you.
But please, it's fun. I've done a couple of podcasts in and around with you guys and stuff. And so if you have some questions, email me anytime. It's on my website, jeff@onpurpose.training. But yeah, I mean, I just like getting after it and having discussions with good quality people. So
well, thank you. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for giving of your time.
Absolutely.
And so jeff@onpurpose.training
is the website.
And onpurpose.training is where they can find these resources that we just talked about.
Yeah, and we can talk about that another time, but training on purpose by design.
I love it. All right. Well, thanks.
Thank you, Kaery.
All right. We'll see you next week.